So I have a I have a fun idea for like our openings. It's going to be random movie, just a random movie, a trivia question. Okay. I have one for you today. If you ever have like a weird, like, I wonder if Jacob can figure this out.
That.
Yeah. You like this?
Yeah.
So I got one for you.
Okay.
What city did Ace Ventura: Pet Detective take place in? There's a lot of gimmies in just the movie.
Florida.
Yeah. What city though?
I'm assuming Miami because it's the Dolphins.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like I was wondering, like, I wonder if he can like just piece it together really quick, or if you just know it.
Yeah.
But like that's the thing is like a lot of people don't really think about like especially for comedy movies like that, like like if I was to ask a random person off the street like what movie is Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, they'd be like, how the fuck am I supposed to know that?
Yeah.
It's like, well, Dan Marino is in it. The dolphin is the kidnappee.
The whole premise is to get the dolphin back.
The mascot for the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
Hence, it takes place in Miami.
Yeah. I like that. That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to do trivia rounds.
Well, that was
I was trying to think one. This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape. Come, little children, I'll take you away into. Hello, everyone.
What is it? Into a magical.
Come, little children, I'll take thee away into a land of enchantment.
Yeah, that's right.
Come, little children, the time's come to play in my garden of magic.
Sure.
Magic? Sorry, I'm not really talking in the mic.
Yeah. There was definitely a moment watching this I was like, yep, Sarah Jessica Parker had an awakening in me as a child.
She's a straight up predator.
Yeah, she fucking is. Jesus.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, buddies.
Welcome to our first episode of the spooky season.
And season 3.
Yeah.
Premiere. Woo! And with cameras. We got the videos for you guys.
I'm going to be real awkward.
Yeah, Tommy doesn't know what to do with himself. Mm-mm. How do you move your hands, Tommy? How do you be a person?
Hi.
Jazz hands. There you go.
So yeah, we're gonna be doing, I guess you can consider it the cult classic Hocus Pocus.
It's definitely a cult classic.
Have you recognized that song?
I don't have my shit ready actually. I didn't realize. Yeah.
Released Hocus Pocus was released July 16th, 1993.
Very odd time for this movie to come out.
Very
I was like, why is it a summer movie?
What was the other one that was a Christmas? Oh, The Spirit. It was like a Christmas movie.
But I was thinking, is like, you know what? They may have actually wanted to do like a summer release in theaters, so then they could get all of the VHSs sold around Halloween.
Yeah, fair.
Because that would be a huge. That would just like sell for Halloween, you know?
Yeah.
What's your synopsis, really quick?
3 old spinster ladies spend a quiet evening at home sucking the lives out of little children.
I like how you really need that sucking in there, didn't you?
Well, they say that.
Oh, yeah.
In the very beginning when they get found out.
Oh, yeah.
We're just 3 quiet spinster ladies at home, and then Sarah Jessica Parker in the back, sucking the lives out of little children.
She's fucking wonderful in this.
They all are.
Ratings, like IMDb, this has a 6.9 rating, which I think that's fair. Then, of course, Bixby decides to go off on our first recording. God damn it. Then a very strange Rotten Tomato. It has a 39 tomato meter. Mm-hmm. And then a 71 audience score. So, like, I mean, I guess, like, this is, like, during this time where I feel like movies that are getting reviewed, like the critics are all like, it's gonna be a really good movie, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's probably has like some pretty bad critics ratings. Really? Mm-mm. Interesting. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Rotten Tomatoes has like a really low thing. So
yeah, no. When we get to that, I have some interesting ones to bring up.
Awesome. Cool. But yeah, so in 1993, like domestically, box office wise, it was number 39 and then like number 38 worldwide. So actually not that bad.
I got 34.
I don't know how you got that. maybe I looked at 9 as a 4 on accident.
Well, it was in the 30s.
Yeah. Also, I feel like this, like 1993 is actually just kind of objectively a crazy good year for movies.
I was just about to say, we haven't said it in a while.
Yeah, but I feel like this is a very deserving one.
Yeah, 93 was like, I was looking at the list and I was like, wow, there's a lot of really great stuff that came out. Like, I mean, the top 5, Jurassic Park, Fugitive, Firm, Sleepless in Seattle, and Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. They're all like great, you know? Like,
yeah, exactly. How many movies did you have for 1993?
Considering I was 138.
Nice.
So I consider that's
pretty good. That's pretty good. I have 49.
49.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah?
I gotta sneeze.
Get it out.
It's gone. Ugh, it's
Oh,
the
I hate
worst.
that.
Worst ever. Yeah, so I got 38.
Word. Any other anecdotes before we move into directors and all that stuff?
No.
Alrighty then. So this movie was, well, I guess, we'll bring it up with writer, I guess. This movie was directed by Kenny Ortega, who really...
Kind of a Disney person.
Yeah, just kind of a Disney dude. But, like, he started off with music videos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of music videos,
Yeah.
like, through the 80s and whatnot. And then, like, kind of did some, like, TV. So, like, he directed, like, a handful of, like, Gilmore Girls and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, like... before he directed Hocus Pocus, he directed one other movie, and it was Newsies with Christian Bale. Hey, look at that. We were talking about Christian Bale before we started recording.
Oh, yeah, I watched American Psycho.
Yep. Very fitting. And then he's also the director for the
High School Musical.
the three high school, all three high school
All
musicals. So, yeah, you dropped something.
What?
Sorry, such a dick. Yeah, like, so, yeah, he's just very much he's a Disney dude.
Yeah.
And then, like, and then music videos and TV and stuff. Oh, he was the director for Michael Jackson's last
This Is It.
documentary, This Is It.
Yeah.
Which is actually a really cool documentary.
Yeah, it's just funny. It's like they're all them big ones, except for this one, are just very musically based. I mean, Hocus Pocus has, like, a musical number in it that's really great.
And
but,
there's some singing and stuff, you know.
Yeah, it was just like, you know, whenever I think of a Disney movie, I think that it's, you know, it's a musical pretty much, but this one really isn't, which I think I appreciate. I like like a one or two good.
Didn't this get turned into a musical?
I'm sure.
I was trying to think about that.
I'm sure it did.
Yeah.
It's kind of the perfect blueprint for
100%.
a musical.
100%. Yeah. Like the nature of it, it's so...
The three sisters.
Yeah,
it's
very like just rewatching it again. I was like, wow, this is very, very over the top and theatric with almost everything.
Well, and it's that great era too for Disney live action and just movies in general, but like in practical effects. No, not in practical effects. A great era for
practical effects.
Good God. For practical effects, it's
there you
really,
go.
it's really fun to watch it. And
are you trying to say in-screen practical effects?
Yes, thank you. In-screen practical. That's what I'm going for. Because there's only really 2 CGI moments, and it's the cat in general, and then her lightning.
The magic. Well, yeah, the magic in general. Then like all of the like smoke around the kids and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's only like, and yeah, like even the cat.
There's very subtle. There's very few. Like the explosion of them coming out of the house.
Yeah, like it's very in between, you know. But yeah, I just forgot. I was like, oh yeah, this movie, and it's like aged pretty well considering.
Yeah. Oh, you know, actually, I feel like it has.
And I think that's like in-screen effects.
I mean, it definitely feels like a '90s movie with like,
but not in a bad way.
Like some of its references and shit. God.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this movie is dating itself super hard.
So the idea for it came from producer David Kirshner.
Who we've talked about a couple of times. We've talked about his properties.
Yeah, it was so funny because I was looking at the name and I was like, man, that name seems really familiar.
No, same. I was like, why does David Kirshner sound so familiar? And then, boom, he also producer and creator for The Pagemaster.
Which we did a review a while back.
Also, he created Pirates of Darkwater, which was I brought up on the Dream reboot part 2. I was like,
funny.
I was like, what the fuck? Like this dude, it was weird to see like this guy, and I brought this up, I think, during Pagemaster. I was like, this guy has been a huge influence in my life,
your childhood,
without even realizing that this guy like shaped it in ways.
Yeah.
That's a weird way. You shaped me in ways, David.
But apparently he came up with the idea in '84, and he was telling his daughters, like, just a little Halloween story, like a black cat walked by, and he came up with this idea about 3 witches, and then it just got extrapolated on. The original script was by Mark Garris. Mick, sorry, thank you. Mick Garris, who did like Fly 2, Critters 2, was the writer for Batteries Not Included. We're the only ones that really...
He's the creator of Masters of Horror.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, like, if you guys are familiar with, it's a Showtime, more of a Showtime series, but it's just shorts for horror movies. You, like, hire a director, writer, create, like, a 20-minute, 30-minute, like, short.
Kind of like an ABCs of Death. Or
Yeah. But he created that. So,
okay.
Yeah. So very fitting for him to be a part of this.
Well, because even then, when it was bought in '84 by Disney, it had the working title of like Halloween House.
Yeah,
and it was going to be way.
It was
going to
be a lot darker. You know, Mick and David's like original idea was like, it was going to be scary.
Well, because even
spooky.
It's also just Disney has this really great thing with their villains, where it's like if the villains are, you know, Ursula, Captain Hook, these 3. Scar, you know, they're all a lot of the time these kind of like over the top flamboyant characters, and it masks what like
the villainy and the
plan,
the horrendous like
what they're actually planning is truly awful.
They're murdering children
to restore their youth,
but
they're doing it in a fun way. You know, and it's like, it's just like, you know, Scar murdered his brother and ate the corpse. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Did he actually eat it?
Yeah, when they cut to when he's king in the cave and he's playing with the bones, it's a lion skull that he's playing with. So
I just figured it was just a lion's.
What the fan theory is
that's
because lions eat other lions. So yeah, the fan theory is he ate Mufasa's body.
Jesus,
which I like to believe. And then the screenplay was by
Neil Cuthbert.
That's a good last name.
Who he wrote Mystery Men.
I know.
He wrote the screenplay for Mystery Men and Adventures of Pluto Nash. I was like, what the fuck?
That movie's terrible.
He's actually a playwright.
Oh, okay.
So it makes sense for this movie to kind of have that feel.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that over the top kind of.
Apparently, like, this movie was bounced around for almost like half a decade before.
Well, I mean, it was bought by Disney in '84.
Yeah, and then like it was Spielberg was kind of like asked to maybe produce it, and he was like, I don't want to like work with the enemy or something.
He didn't want to work with Disney.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, baller move. Like, not gonna lie.
Right?
Fuck you, Disney.
And Leonardo DiCaprio was
in talks to be Max, but he wanted to do
What's Eating Gilbert Grape, which I saw an interview of like an early, like a younger interview, an older young Leo.
We got it.
In screen practical
in screen and practical
in screen Leonardo DiCaprio. He's talking about how he turned down a Disney project because he wanted to do something that would be a little bit more challenging. He's like, yeah, it's kind of weird to turn down that amount of money.
Yeah.
And like how he was like proud of himself, being like, oh, I didn't get swept by the capitalist demon. Mr. Save the environment. No, the environment needs to be saved. You're good on that, Leo.
Mr. 24.
I thought it was 25.
Yeah, 25.
That's the expiration date.
That's the cutoff. Okay.
If I was Leo, I mean. So on that, let's actually go into the actors of the movie.
Let's start with the 3 sisters.
Of course. Also, this got a pretty decent sized cast. We'll probably have some just want to do some like honorable mentions, but yeah. So I can't remember their names.
The sisters.
The sisters.
Really? Oh,
I have a hard. I don't know, dude. It's been a rough couple of days.
Oh yeah, I know. But it's just they just say them so many times. I thought that would have.
Nope.
Okay.
So Bette Midler.
I was totally gonna try, and I couldn't think of it. I was gonna try to make a Barbara Streisand joke.
Why?
I don't know. Just try and like
fuck that fly.
Try and confuse you. Like, yeah. So Winifred is played by Barbara Streisand. It's just like
I would have just looked at you like I probably would have done a deadpan to the camera like what?
But yeah, Bette Midler plays Winifred. Winnie.
Which really I didn't realize it's really not a lot of film roles. And when she is in them, it's really not this is kind of like her, other than like Beaches, First Wives Club, like those are kind of like, I think her two like big, like.
What is the twin one?
The twin one?
Yeah, she plays like sisters. So like, what is it? So two parents have a set of twins, right? And then something happens, and then the one of the twins gets swapped.
It sounds so familiar.
But these women think that they're twins. They just look really different because they were born at the same time.
Oh, fuck. What movie is that?
Isn't it like called Twins or something?
No. Twins is Arnold Schwarzenegger
And
and Danny DeVito.
Yeah, it's that concept, but
they're separated at birth, but yeah. Oh, fuck. What? Oh, wow.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know. Why didn't you write it down?
Because I just thought of it.
Oh.
I just thought of that movie, and I remember really liking it. Yeah, but like First Wives Club, Beaches, Stepford Wives, and a musician, a musical.
Yeah, no,
artist.
yeah, she's a vocalist. Yeah,
yeah, and
she actually started off Broadway.
And a goddamn icon.
She actually had her first Broadway performance like less than like half a decade ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she never actually did a performance on. Yeah,
that's weird to me.
No, it's very strange to you. Yeah, yeah, I was like kind of blown away, and I believe she also. I might be wrong in this, but I think I read this. I believe she won a Tony for it as well.
Maybe that isn't Bette Midler.
I don't know. Maybe it's not.
Maybe it's not.
But whatever you just described sounds very familiar, and we'll try to figure it out.
Okay.
But yeah, no, she's a recording artist. She grew to fame singing, lounge singing in gay clubs.
I was gonna say, I feel like she's like a gay.
She's a gay icon, and that's why.
Yeah,
yeah.
But she's also amazing, and in this, she's.
Do you remember her in What Women Want?
Yeah, it took a second. I saw her as Doctor blah 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 uncredited, and I was like, what?
Yeah,
and then I remember,
the psychiatrist.
Yeah, she was the couples counselor.
Yeah,
and then she ended up going with the wife because he was such a piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's like reading her mind. I love that scene because like she starts smoking a joint.
Yeah.
All right, so who do you want to talk? Who's next for you?
We'll just go in the order that it was on IMDb. Make it easy. Sarah Jessica Parker, who plays Sarah.
Yeah, which actually I never caught on to that.
Yeah,
we've talked about her before because of the Family Stone.
Oh yeah, so you know her from like Sex and the City.
She's Carrie in Sex City. She's also in the First Wives Club as well.
Yeah, which is funny too. She is Bette Midler's husband's new mistress.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if you haven't seen the First Wives Club, that's a great movie.
I gotta say, Sarah Jessica Parker really plays this like aloof
hoe.
No, I mean, yeah, but no, like
and I loved that about her character.
Her comic timing in this movie is so on point.
Yeah, and it's just like, I mean, and it's like it's a total gag, but but like her boy craziness is actually absolutely hilarious.
It is.
Boys, put him on a hook and let me play with him. Yeah, it's creepy, but it like works really well for this character.
Well, and like she's always the one like that's like not paying attention. Like Winnie will like say something and then like, did you hear me? And she's like, and
Big Business.
Big Business.
That's the twin one.
Oh, okay.
Big Business. I was looking for something for twins. I didn't think it'd be called Big Business, but anyways, okay.
Like, it's like the other sister will be like, yeah, and then like Sarah's like, what'd you say?
Yeah, she's like ditzy, and she was really funny.
She's hilarious.
But that's the thing too, is I remember having had the conversation about this movie with someone before all this, and they're like really praising Bette Midler, and I just in my head I was like, I remember being like, I remember them all being really great.
They're all great.
Obviously, like Bette Midler is like the lead, and she's also the one that interacts with the world more. Yeah. Like all the sisters interact together. She interacts with other people the most.
Yeah.
So she like leads them, but like their dynamic together, they are really all great because then you have
no, when they like start to like do like the march together.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so fucking good.
And then for the third sister we have
Kathy Najimy.
I need my glasses. Kathy Najimy, who plays Mary. I recognize her most from the Sister Act 1 and 2. And this.
She is the voice of Peggy Hill.
Is she really?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
I found that out in this research.
Oh, you didn't know it either? That's so funny.
No, she actually has a lot of voice acting credits.
I did see that. I know. I was like, oh, so she kind of went more of the VO route.
Well, she's also a wonderful singer.
Is she a singer as well?
Yeah, she is a singer as well, but like obviously not to Bette Midler or anything. But she's a person that you would recognize in so many. Just like she's always just kind of like she's a character actor.
Yeah,
and she's just like kind of like a small role here and there and whatnot. Like looking through her list, I was like I saw Bride of Chucky. She's the maid. I'm like, oh, I remember exactly what scene we're talking about in Bride of Chucky, where she comes in and finds the dead bodies all cut up from the glass.
Yeah,
you know.
And also, it's like because I only ever seen her as a nun and as Mary, who's like super goofy and everything. She's gorgeous.
Yeah,
I've never seen her just like as like a normal
person.
Yeah, and I was going through her photos and I was like, oh, you're absolutely gorgeous. Like, yeah, I was like, okay.
And she plays that off like. The goofy kind of like character,
clunky,
yeah,
kind of like like lumbering kind of like character.
Yeah.
But I was just like, oh wow, you're very
she
pretty.
she got typecast in a way and just leaned hard into it.
Yeah,
and then you had a successful career. Good job, Kathy.
Good for you. So those are our witches: Winifred, Sarah, and Mary.
What the Sanderson sisters?
The Sanderson sisters.
That's right. Well, let's go to the kids.
Who should I guess Max?
Yeah, I thought you were like, how do I pronounce this name? Like Omri? Omri Katz, who
I want to watch Erie, Indiana.
That was one of my favorite shows as a kid.
Oh, was it?
Oh my god,
that sounds sick.
Dude. So, Jose Rivera created it.
It sounds like it led you into the X-Files.
Oh, 100%.
It's like, know what it is? It's 90s Stranger Things.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But like, dude, that show I loved watching. It was on Fox Kids when I watched it, and I didn't realize that I was probably watching like reruns and whatnot. But yeah, Omri Katz. I didn't also never piece that together that he is the kid in Erie. And
yeah,
what his name is Erie, isn't it? I can't remember.
The show?
No, like I can't remember. Never mind. Okay. I think his name is actually like Erie as well.
In that show?
Yeah, and they're in Erie, Indiana, which is a real town.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, like well, that'll be Dream Reboot Part 3.
And also in a show called Dallas, where like this is the only thing I've ever seen Max.
Yeah, so but like he stopped acting in like 2002, and he didn't really have much of a career really after this movie.
Yeah,
it was kind of like small TV role stuff here, like TV movie. Yeah. And then he did. Now I think he's just living off the fame of Hocus Pocus, because like he's done like the podcast, like redoing stuff and whatnot. But yeah, Omri Katz, he's Max. He's the virgin.
He's the virgin. Oh, virgin that lit the black flame candle, I'll be thy friend. I'm like, girl,
I'll be your friend.
Minor. Okay.
So let's go to Vanessa Shaw,
who plays Allison,
and who, honestly, like, I didn't realize how much of a career she actually had after this.
I didn't realize how many times I've seen her and didn't know it was her. Like 310 to Yuma, whatever. 310 to Yuma, Eyes Wide Shut, and Hills Have Eyes remake.
Yeah,
I was oh yeah.
Also, 40 Days and 40 Nights with Josh Hartnett.
Yeah, like I was just like, oh.
Do you remember which character she is in Eyes Wide Shut?
I haven't seen that in a very long time.
Oh, she's the prostitute that he goes to, but then does not actually cheat on his wife.
Eyes Wide Shut is Tom Cruise and
Nicole Kidman. Yeah, it's Stanley Kubrick.
Right.
The sex cult.
Yeah, the sex cult one.
Yeah.
310 to Yuma, which was...
I haven't seen that. Yeah.
God, if you're a fan of
That's Jude Law, right?
No, 310 to Yuma is Christian Bale and Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe is a gang leader that is being taken to the 310 to Yuma train for execution.
Yeah. What is the Western I'm thinking of with Jude Law?
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. I don't recall.
Sounds good. Moving on.
I don't remember Jude Law being in a Western.
Yeah, no, she's really like in a lot of things actually.
And I was just
she looks like a little bit kind of like Ali Larley, the girl that was in Final Destination, and that was also in Heroes. That was the girl that was in prison in Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name. Ellie
Larson?
No, not Larson.
No. It's funny that I was getting Keira Knightley vibes.
I can see that too.
Like a young...
Dude, yeah, they all kind of look that similar way. High cheekbones, pretty eyes, longer
kind of
face.
dirty blonde.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I really want to watch the Hills Have Eyes remake again.
I haven't seen it since it came out in theaters.
Yeah, same. And I remember being brutal.
It's uncomfortable.
It's so uncomfortable.
Yeah. So let's keep moving forward.
No, did not realize that Danny was goddamn. I didn't realize that it was Thora Birch. I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah.
Until watching it this time, I went,
yeah, it's Thora Birch.
holy shit.
She had a bunch of like stuff even like before this.
Yeah.
For child acting and whatnot. But like probably now, I mean, most recognizably now probably this movie, yes, and then American Beauty and Ghost World.
Yeah. I've watched this movie 100 times and I never realized.
It's her.
Yeah, because she's just she's itty bitty.
Yeah.
And she's
she's not a very good actress in this.
Not
movie.
striking. That's not the word I'm looking for, but a blazing redhead.
Yeah.
She has like copper red hair, and the next thing I saw her in was an American Beauty, and she's a goth chick. You know what I mean? Like
Super serious.
Yeah, and really serious. I just didn't. But it's like but it's just so funny because she's kind of like a Christina Ricci. She hasn't changed. She looks exactly the same. She just is a larger size.
Do you remember her in The Walking Dead?
No, I didn't. Recently? I did. Again, I looked at the picture and I went,
"That was her."
That was her.
Yeah.
I told my partner that too, and she's like, "I have no recollection of her being." I showed her the picture, and she was like, yeah, okay."
It's like, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Quick shout out, Doug Jones.
Yeah, I love Doug Jones. If you don't know Doug Jones, he is a creature actor.
Yeah, I mean, more like a physical.
Yeah,
and
it was so funny once I saw that it was Doug Jones and Billy came up. I was like, oh yeah, I totally see it. Doug Jones was Abe in Hellboy, and the Amphibious Man in Shape of Water.
Yep.
Yeah,
like he's like whenever there's like a very specific physically demanding or like a very much a lot of makeup type character.
Yeah,
he's kind of like the go-to.
Yeah.
And this is like before he was really, well known for that.
Yeah, no, totally.
This is like the beginning of his career for that. I also just really quick because it blew my mind realizing who their mother was. She's in How I Met Your Mother. She's the man maker, the first woman that Barney ever slept with.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that's her. I was sitting there, I was like, is that the man maker?
And then another shout out to Jason Marsden, who's also kind of a big name in the voiceover world. That was
does he voice Binks?
Thackeray, yeah.
Oh, Thackeray
Binks.
Binks.
Like he's funny enough, he's Max and Goofy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's the voice of Max.
Interesting.
He's in Young Justice as a couple characters. He's just been around. Is that everybody, pretty much?
Yeah, sure.
Trying to think of it.
There's actually, the guy who plays like Satan, like he's a guy or the cat costume of Satan, recognizable actor that you could probably do something. But let's keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Let's move into your reviews, buddy.
So on Metacritic with the critic reviews is 8 positive, 13 mixed, 6 negative.
Okay. I feel like probably like that low Rotten Tomatoes probably like more in the mixed because of the mixed ones.
Yeah, because it is like heavy on the mixed ones.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I forgot to write down the scores they gave it. So Desson Thompson gave it at the Washington Post gave it a 70 out of 100. Its collection of one-liners and amusing situations could put you in a diverting spell. A studio-generated romp around 3 17th century witches who create havoc in present-day Salem, Massachusetts. It's full of big crowd laughs, thanks mostly to Midler, and suspense.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and I brought that one up because I just thought it was so funny because everyone, like, most of these go to, like, Midler saved this. This is terrible, but she's great. And I was just like, they're all, like... if she was the only one of them, it wouldn't have worked. You need the dynamic.
Yeah, I mean,
you need the Three Stooges kind of vibe.
Exactly. That's really what it's the sisters themselves and the quirkiness and like they're kind of like a people out of time, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So for mixed, a 50 out of 100, James Berardinelli. Sure. At Real Reviews, Hocus Pocus is occasionally dull, mostly pandemic motion picture with little to recommend. Recommend it. It belongs on the long list of summer movies that will quickly be buried and forgotten until the surface of video in 6 months. And which was so funny because this was like a flop, and then it came back on the like VHS, and then it became a cult classic. So he basically predicted. He's like, so people are going to totally forget about this. I
said that at the beginning. I know, without even knowing.
Yeah.
That.
I was just like, oh, he totally predicted it. And then
so did I.
And then this I kind of picked this one because of this last line for you. For real fun at the expense of the dead, see instead Sam Raimi's Army of Darkness, which also came out this year.
Oh, really?
It came out in 93 too.
How did I miss that on the list?
Because it was way down there.
I went all the way to the bottom. I always go to 200.
So you need to add one.
Maybe.
To your.
I may have actually counted it. I just don't remember.
And I had a hard time picking the negative one. A lot of them were really short, but Ebert was on there. But
does he have a negative one?
His is negative.
Ooh, Mr. I Know Movies.
Mr. I Know Movies. That just goes on time. Yeah, I'll just read his. Hocus Pocus is a film desperately in need of... Oh, yeah. This one was okay. Desperately in need of self-discipline. It's one of those projects where you imagine everyone laughing and applauding each other after every scene because they're so convinced they're wild and crazy guys. But watching the movie is like attending a party you weren't invited to and where you don't know anybody and they're all in a joke but won't explain it to you.
I mean, I get the first half of that.
Yeah, but then I feel like kind of went off the rails.
Then it's kind of like now you're just being mean.
Yeah, the one I actually like wrote down because they're all like pretty short was Gene Siskel at the Chicago Tribune, a dreadful witches comedy with the only tolerable moment coming when Bette Midler presents a single song.
Wow, man,
it's kind of crazy how much like weight was put on her shoulders for this film.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think it's unfair.
Yeah. Well,
watching it again.
Well, she is like the name of this movie. Like the only reason this movie got made is because she read the scripts. Like, I want to make this.
Yeah.
Like, is she a producer on it too?
I didn't see her name on producers, but I know that she was very hands on with making Winnie.
Word.
Like her costume and her makeup, and you know.
Because this movie, it wouldn't have gotten made without her. And it is like there is a big focus around her character through this entire movie. You know. Like since she's like the leader of the sisters, she's the sisters are the foil to her like high status, like thinking she knows everything type character.
Yeah.
I think the strangest part of this movie is when they're driving away and all of a sudden now she knows what like law enforcement is.
That's so funny. That was like the something that bugged me the most because like the gag of them, like you said, being a place being
out of time. Yeah.
Out of time. And who are they? Boys? They're witch hunters. You see, they carry axes.
Yeah,
to chop, or like the pavement is a black river.
Yeah, exactly.
But then suddenly halfway through, she becomes like in on all the colloquialisms of 1993. Yeah. Where's your driver's permit? You're like,
yeah.
Well, how did
you learn
she do that?
Yeah,
yeah. That was I found that really weird. But that's eat the carrot. Like whatever.
Yeah.
But it was it was like,
but that's kind of goes into like where like the cleverness that Roger Ebert's talking about, where it's kind of like they're patting each other on the back for like the
one-liner.
Yeah, exactly. Because like this movie is literally just kind of like it's a misadventure. Like I was trying to think, like there's really not really. I mean, it's not like a moral that you kind of learn in this, other than like
don't be a virgin.
Don't be a
virgin.
Don't be a male and a virgin.
Don't be a virgin and light candles.
Yeah.
To all PSA, everyone, if you're a virgin, don't light any candles because you might bring some children eating witches back to life.
Oh man. Like I get there's like
I think you got your promo.
Oh yeah. Fuck. Yeah, I really derailed.
Sorry, I derailed you.
Yeah. So, like a really like I guess you could like it's like the bond between brother and sister is, you know, kind of a cute thing because like that's that parallel of Max's arc is tied with like him taking care of Danny, and that's kind of Banks's big thing is like he failed in taking care of his sister Emily.
Well, yeah, but I mean it's even the same with like the sisters too, because she even says like at the end how strange it is to sacrifice your life over thy sisters or something like that, and it's like that's the stark difference. It's like you don't care about your sisters, and that's why you're losing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, especially at the beginning where he's like, I'm not going to take you trick-or-treating. Aren't you old enough? I'm 8. I'm not old enough yet. And it's like, he's like, I don't like you, sister. Like throwing his temper as he stomps up the stairs, just pouts. I'm like, what? Like, where are you going?
It was also brutal too. Get your candy and get out of my life. Like, Jesus Christ.
So then he saves her at the end, and then that's his character arc is because it's like he's not. He's already started to care about her anyway throughout half of this fucking film. So, like, of course, now we know he's going to sacrifice himself. Also, Vanessa Shaw's character is literally just planted in there.
Like, she didn't have to be there, like, at all.
Like, literally, you take her out, and...
She's literally there to take them to the museum.
Yeah. And to be eye candy. Pretty much.
I guess so.
You know?
Yeah, no, it's like... it was to get them to the...
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Also, dude, him, like... asking her out at the beginning where he's like, Max, here's my number. She's all like, cool, dude.
I like do you want to give us your California tie-dyed point of view?
I mean, what's actually cute about this movie is it's well written to the point where you can follow everything super, super easy, and they're not like force feeding it to you.
It's very easily digestible.
Yeah. You know, that whole thing is like, we quickly understand that, oh yeah, Max isn't from this town that has like its cute little lore. And with that whole line, like, oh, do you want to give us your California point of view? You know, and it's like, oh.
I like that you called Salem's lore cute. You know, those wacky Salem witch child times. You know that thing.
It's it's so well. I don't even
burning people at the stake. You know.
Hey, I like the smell of it.
Cute.
They make it cute in the movie. They do kind of take this whole thing of like the Salem witch trials and kind of make it seem like whoop-de-doo. Whoopsies. There were the witches.
Casual genocide. I'm crying.
But yeah, like it's like even just like how it starts off, like we get the backstory, like we get the story of like the Sanderson sisters, and we see that play out, and then the dark moment of seeing their feet dangling.
No, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I was talking about earlier with Disney. It's like they're executing these women.
Yeah.
And it's really just like, ooh. Like, I don't know. It's just like, it's the same. Like, it gave me that that vibe of when the bad guy, the hunter, dies in Tarzan.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, that's actually kind of that build up to that's kind of.
No, I know, but it's just it's like, oh, we've talked about it before.
Yeah.
Ursula gets impaled. Mm-hmm. Frollo falls in a vat of lava. Like, it's like.
What's actually really interesting is that I feel like those animated movies, they have a built-in more suspense where you feel kind of the like it's like more of like a gasp when it happens, as opposed to like these live action movies. It's very cutesy, and you're just kind of like, oh, they got hung.
Yeah. No big deal.
Okay.
I did something I thought was while we were setting up. I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, what's also interesting about Binks when he gets turned into a cat is it implies that cats can talk, because when he's first turned into a cat, he goes up to his dad and he's only meowing. So he taught himself how to speak as a cat over the centuries.
Oh, I see what you mean. Without human lips.
Yeah. So like he was just a cat and he meowed, and then he taught himself. I was like, that's actually kind of interesting, because he didn't immediately just go like, Dad, I'm a cat.
Dad, I'm a cat.
Demon! She turned me into a newt. I got better.
I love that movie.
That's a good one.
I know. Yeah, actually, that's a good. But all like that would have been a weird swerve. Like, Dad, I'm a cat. Demon.
Like, yeah, in 1693 Salem, that's probably not going to go well for you, baby. It's like, shh. Keep that to yourself.
I'm gonna be quiet.
Yeah, like,
oh man. I really don't have much more to say about the movie, honestly.
I mean, there's just like Doug playing Billy was really cool. Like the moth thing. Yeah, they like had the little. They basically had like a little cage in his mouth with moths in it.
Yeah,
and he like
cut it open
and like they flew out.
No, actually, that
kind of interesting.
His like quick arc of turning to help the sisters is kind of. It's like all he needed was something to open up his mouth just to like. What does he call her?
Oh, it's like one of the best lines. Wench.
Yeah.
Trollop. You wait. You buck-toothed mop-flying firefly from hell. It's like one of the best insults ever.
Like, I've been wanting to say that.
I've been wanting to say that for centuries. Just don't breathe on me. Yeah. But it's also just the way he wench.
Yeah.
Wench. Trollop. It's also, I liked his character. He had a very Jack Sparrow.
Mm-hmm. But it was so weird. It's like he's following their Winnie's demands and orders up until he can now like, oh, now I can actually say it. Like, I don't know. His arc to like becoming like a good guy was just very.
I mean, you could
sudden.
argue that he was never chasing them. He was trying to communicate with them. Like,
help me.
Yeah,
help me, I help you.
Yeah, like because
help me, help you.
Because he doesn't really ever. Because he does get like he gets pretty close to them, gets his hands on them, but he never does. It never looks like he's gonna like do anything to them. I mean, we got to talk about. This is kind of the number.
What?
The singing. I put a spell on you.
Oh yeah.
That's a great scene.
That is a really good scene. Yeah. Well, I really liked this because like how the parents just don't realize exactly what is happening. Obviously,
it was a cool bad guy moment. Like again, once you take away all the sparkles and all that kind of shit, it's like she's literally casting a spell that they're gonna dance until they die.
Yeah.
And they're really stoked about it. It's like.
Oh my god, that's also another great that dates this movie is when Danny runs into their parents and sees mom and like, Mom, what are you supposed to be? And she's like, I'm Madonna.
I love how like insecure she gets.
Yeah,
like I thought that was really funny, and I really dug the dad's costume, Dadcula.
Yeah,
and he was wearing like PJs, and like that was funny.
Yeah,
that's a great. What I thought was kind of interesting too, considering this is a Disney property, is how because it's freaking Halloween.
Yeah. How
little they put their own properties in like costumes. I saw a couple. Like I saw Mike Myers, but that's not Disney, but I'm just saying. I saw
like with all the costumes running around.
Yeah, like you think that
this
would be a smorgasbord of okay, we're gonna put
Mickey,
blah 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 blah. But I saw Mrs.
But this is actually it's strangely before that was like a really really like big thing to do though. Because also think about the Disney properties that existed in 1993. There's still a ton, yeah. But like,
I mean, like I saw Mrs. Pot from
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, is that her name?
Mrs. Potts.
Mrs. Potts. That's what her name is. Yeah.
I
saw her, but
I mean, I think the most popular one, like Lion King, isn't out yet, is it? That came out like '94. Toy Story's not out yet.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's like Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Winnie the Pooh.
And there's even I know it's still like 93, but I'm sure there's a couple that were out there like, let's not promote that one.
What, like Fox and the Hound, or what are you talking about?
Like Dumbo.
Oh,
like yeah.
Well, and some of their older proproperties, that's like
it didn't age well.
Yeah, no, it didn't. Like maybe there's a Snow White somewhere in the background or something, you know. But yeah,
I was really looking. I was really looking at that party. Also, like, man, I would kill to go to a Halloween party like that. That was sick.
The one that the parents were at.
Yeah, it was cool.
Those happen. You can go to one.
It's cool.
I guess. Well, let's see. Like, in the turn of events, like they feel like they do beat the witches. Like they trick the witches into like incinerating them. That's kind of like a weird thing. Is like how did they survive that? Because they're witches. That's it.
What do you mean?
They put into the pot into the burner.
Yeah.
For like
yeah.
Also, did you see that perfect sculpture of the discus man? I was like, damn, some kid is really good.
That gave me the omelette fromage from Dexter.
Oh yeah, omelette. I can't remember.
Yeah, but like
omelette du fromage.
Yeah, when she walks out, I want my book. And she starts speaking. That killed me. I think the logic behind that, again, eat the carrot. But I think the logic behind that is because of the candle. Nothing can hurt them.
Okay.
Except the candle is a deal.
The sunlight it's either
it's a contract.
Yeah.
So
like deal with the devil.
Because even then the green smoke comes out, so it seems like they burnt.
Yeah.
But then they came back together again. Something I didn't realize too is that I always wondered, and I guess as a kid I thought it was because she was the main one. I'm like, why is it Winifred turned to stone and then exploded? And I realized it's because she's standing on the hollow ground. Yeah. Oh, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Which it took a minute for that hollow ground to kick in. It's like she belly flopped face first into the hollowed ground and then stood up and grabbed Max, and then all of a sudden like, oh no.
I adore her. She's just got great facial expressions.
No, I think a lot of the reviews that you read are kind of on point with how Bette Midler does kind of carry this in a big way because of the way that she is interacting with the world and how over the top she is. Like there's even a moment like where she like leans down at Danny and I saw her like she like pierced her eyes and like her eyes got really big. It's just like she's so overly expressive in this world, in this like. What's interesting is like it fits in this world because of how they set it up with the goofiness of the reality of the other people. Mm-hmm. So like when Max, like when the bullies start bullying Max,
got some straight up Jay and Silent Bob vibes from them.
They're just like they're so Disney bullies, and especially how they're like pay the toll, like they're trying to just get candy. They're like, it's like these 16-year-old boys would not be.
They're also clearly like in their 20s.
Yeah,
like, number one.
Yeah, it's like actually I love when they actually get caught, but when they get taken by the Sanderson sisters and they're in the fucking
you're
cages.
Cute. Well, this is also like there's this little like they just made like a fun world to live in for an hour and a half.
Yeah,
because even like at one point in the beginning when they're making the first potion to steal the life, dead man's toe, and she grabs one and she starts chewing on the nail.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's one of those moments where you're like, did a director tell you to do that, or are you just like, this is something Sarah would do?
Well, like even like where she's like, ooh, a spider,
and she eats. Yeah, ooh, my lucky rat's tail.
Yeah,
but it's like it's so funny when we have these conversations and I realize like I never really put together how much of a Three Stooges vibe it is.
Oh yeah,
because you got the leader, you got
they're
the one
so slapstick.
Yeah, and the one that's always trying to like appease.
There's the yes man, and then the really dumb one.
Yeah, but like and it's just like, take me to the window. I want to say goodbye. Goodbye, cruel world. Goodbye, bye. She just starts like
he's just repeating. Yeah.
Goodbye to life. Goodbye, bye, bye, life.
Bye, life.
Mary killed me. She's one of my favorites. I love her. She's so funny.
When they fucking get their brooms taken and they're like, so Winnie gets the actual broom, Sarah gets the mop, and then Mary comes out on a fucking vacuum. She's like under like, is this gonna work?
Like she like slams it between her crotch. She's like, ugh. She just made great. She was really great.
Oh man,
that whole the master scene with Satan, that's always really funny too. And that's like it kind of goes back into that whole like people out of time thing. She walks into the kitchen, she's like, I torture chamber.
Yeah, no, that's actually one of the best parts. Is like and that's kind of like, I mean, that's all the big part of the charm is like them exploring this 300 years like in the future. They're like figuring out like because they think like it's like I smell children, but all I see is all these little goblins around.
Well, yeah, when I've lost my powers. The original script too was going to be actually more about the sisters, from what I was reading, and following them more on misadventures and them in this new world,
Yeah.
but then they were like, oh no, we need to focus more on the kids to make it more of a kids movie
Make
and
it
blah
family,
blah.
yeah.
But apparently there's like an entire scene where Mary gets loose in a supermarket that they cut out. And I'm like, what? I want to see that.
I want to see that scene
I
so
want
bad.
to see that so bad.
Especially like when she's like watching TV and it gets to the like
The baby commercial.
which do you remember that
Yeah, I
commercial?
remember that commercial.
And just like just seeing that commercial, I'm like, wow, like I forgot like that commercial was like that was an iconic commercial for the time. That like it was like a meme almost, you know? And just like she's like, whoa!
Yeah. So I'm hoping with the new one they really kind of lean into giving them more.
I kind of wish we would have had time to watch it before so we could kind of like do.
Well, it's not even out yet.
Yeah, it is.
I thought it was out on the 30th.
I thought it was out on the 23rd. Because I saw it on Disney last night.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought I did.
I thought it was out the 30th. But.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Brain. Hi, camera. How are you?
How you doing?
I guess we can start moving into. Unless do you have any more thoughts? Like, I did one thing that was kind of distracting, and you know, it's like since it is a kids movie, you kind of gotta forgive it. Is
it's the 30th?
It is 30th. Okay, well, maybe it's just like there for like a trailer.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Thora Birch's acting is really rough at this. It was actually very interesting to see like that, see where she got in, like where she got to, yeah, eventually with like American Beauty and Ghost World, because like the falls over. It's like, man, this kid is not crying actually.
That's so funny.
I guess there's like an honesty and charm with her performance as well.
I mean, because that's the thing. There's like moments, you know, like when
she falls in love with Banks super easy. Also, the ghost kiss, like,
it was kind of weird, right?
I'm like, why are you?
You thought that was kind of weird too, right?
I was like, what is going on here?
It was like sweet, but it was also weird.
Also, I literally when they think they've beaten the sisters and they all go back to his house and like Danny goes to sleep and then what's Vanessa's character? What's her name? Allison. And she like cuddles up to Max. I literally said out loud, boner. You know where he's thinking.
Yeah, no, like that kiss was weird. I had a point. I can't remember.
It's like because it's. I mean, it could just be like a kind of like surrogate little sister type thing, you know, like. Give your little sister a kiss because it's just a kiss on the cheek.
100%. Yeah,
you know, it's not like he's going up and like macking on an 8-year-old.
No,
you know,
because also at the end of the day, it's like in Danny's mind, he was a cat.
Yeah,
he wasn't a teenage boy.
No, yeah, she was going to be
taking care of her pet.
I'm going to make you nice and fat, and you're not going to have to hunt rats anymore unless you want to do it for fun. And
yeah, so it's like, yeah, you know, it was just supposed to. It's that's what I'm saying. It's like a sweet moment, but it's just there's something kind of weird about it. You're like. And maybe it's because it might be too because you only see Thackeray as a human in the beginning and then briefly at the end. So it's almost kind of like this stranger because he's not the cat.
Could you imagine if he like still like had like a cat mannerism and he like went up and like nuzzled her instead? I mean, you like maybe like licked her on the cheek.
I mean, he's been a cat for 300 years. I feel like that's not something you just like stop doing.
Yeah. Actually, him as a ghost, like, hey guys, I'm ready. Well, not used in this form. Not used to this anymore.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like I was giving Thora Birch kind of crap for like whatever. Like I was like, she's 8 years old. I'm like, I don't know why that has to be mutually exclusive. There are also 8-year-olds that are great actors.
Yeah,
she's just not. Like, have
you not seen Macaulay Culkin die in My Girl?
His glasses. Can't see with those glasses. Well, but I was gonna say that there's like moments, you know, like she didn't do sad very well, but she did like anger well, like when she yelled at Bette Midler, Winnie, "You sold your soul. You're ugly and you know." It's like like it worked. It wasn't...
When she pops up and like is trying to like joke around with
hello, sisters. Yeah. Like that. You know, yeah. There's like moments, but it's just like it's also like genuine sadness is like
it's hard
to
as an actor. Yes,
it's very hard to convey that.
Yeah.
Anger and happiness are easier than like genuinely making an audience feel your feelings is a very particular skill that I wouldn't even really expect an 8-year-old to have.
Yeah,
it would be. I'd be like, wow, they really killed that, Thomas J.
Why am I forgetting the girl that played it? I mean, we're not even talking about My Girl, but I'm trying to remember the actress's name, but I can't.
But yeah, with the second one, I really hope they really. I don't know. I mean,
have you watched a trailer or anything for the second one?
I watched the very first teaser
where it's like they're back.
Yeah, like it's like 10 seconds.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I don't even. It's like I was wondering. Because like the way that this ends, like they blew up, but then the book's eye opens.
Yeah, but even then they were hung 300 years ago and they came back.
Yeah. No, it's like I feel like their power more probably exists within the book. The book, like the Book of Tales, like the Book of the Dead.
Well, they're, and it's like I was also reading that what's the Mary, what's her name again?
Kathy?
Yeah, Kathy. Kathy, I was reading somewhere that she was kind of skeptical on playing this role because she didn't want to offend actual witches. Which I know that a lot of times in these kind of movies can be like a thing, but it's like, yeah, okay, fine. But you're also talking about, like in this, the Sanderson sisters are witches that worship the devil.
Yeah.
You can be a witch and not worship the devil.
Yeah.
So it's like, who cares? Like these are devil worshiping witches. So it's like their power comes from Satan. So
Satan. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, but also with what I was gonna say was like with the new one, they're gonna come back. It's gonna be the same thing. They're gonna probably have the black flame candle or something equivalent. Like, we had two. Surprisingly,
it'll be a substitution of some sort. Yeah.
Yeah, but what it's gonna be, in my opinion, only because it's Disney, and it's just kind of. I'll be surprised if it's not this. It's just gonna be a bunch of jokes about the first one.
Yeah, that's actually fair. Because even like Space Jam 2.
Yeah,
was like
Zoolander 2. It's all just.
Yeah.
Remember when we did that joke in the first one? Well, here it is again, and that's gonna be kind of annoying. But the thing is, I like them enough that I'm fine with more of the Sanderson sisters.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna watch it.
Yeah.
It's like it's gonna be endearing. Like it was actually like the amount of times I was just kind of laughing at the ridiculousness of this movie, and especially just like the sisters and their outlandish. They're so. Like they're like a sore thumb, like they stick out so well,
yeah.
but then blend in perfectly
because it's Halloween.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Well, and it's just like there's just like I said, it's just fun to watch them too. Because even like when Bette Midler, when Winnie shows up to the Halloween party, and the skeleton singer is like, "I put a spell on you," and she just like slowly raises her eyebrow with her crazy long nails, and it's just like that gives me an idea. It's just like. It's just fun,
Yeah.
They're just fun villains, and I love a good villain.
Yeah,
and it's like, and it's so interesting because it's like Winnie is very, like you said, sticks out like a sore thumb, and she's very loud, but she's like very evil, and you kind of forget that the other two are as well. They also want to kill children and take their life force, but they're so goofy that you kind of forget that's kind of what they're trying to do.
I mean, it's that. But there's an interesting thing I just kind of thought about is like, since this movie is so like lighthearted, it's like, yeah, there is that like, oh, how are the like. It's not like how are the Sanderson sisters going to get the kids? It's like, oh, how are the kids going to overcome?
Yeah,
the sisters. You're never really worried that they're not going to come out on top.
But you also forget in the very beginning they kill a child.
Yeah,
they kill a child and then
turn another one into a cat
to live forever with his guilt. Like, they're not nice people. I really do love that spell. Jump back, twist the bones and bend the back. I just think the whole thing is great. I do think it's gonna be funny though. It's gonna be like a Chris Pine situation.
Chris Pine? What do you mean?
No offense to him, but he was in the first Wonder Woman, and then they brought him back in the second one.
Oh yeah.
And he looked older.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be.
He's a ghost.
So
you're like, so dead people aged.
Well, that makes me wonder. Like, who are they bringing back Vanessa Shaw's Thora Birch? Is Omni Krat like in this new one in Hocus Pocus 2? Like, what is the new like? Is there a new virgin?
Yeah, I think it's three friends, three girlfriends, like female friends. I don't know what. From what I remember, I think it's 3 like middle school aged girls.
Okay.
From the brief glimpse, but again, I haven't really watched it. But I think I have this weird. Maybe I'm totally crossing it with the Craft remake.
Possibly.
Yeah, you know what?
And it's not a remake; it's a sequel.
So yeah, scrap everything I said. I have no idea. I might be totally blending the two of those together. I have one thing that I need filmmakers to stop doing. Stop putting old ass Zippo lighters and then they frickin' work
Immediately.
That's not a thing. That is not a thing.
There needs to be lighter fluid in there.
That shit dries up
really quick.
Yeah. Like, I hate that. I don't know. It drives me fucking nuts. Because also it's like, put a Bic. Like a plastic Bic. Yeah, that might.
Yeah, but the Zippo.
Yeah.
So cool.
Look
how cool Max is that knows how to flip a Zippo.
It really
Hey, Allison, look how cool I am.
Drives me fucking nuts.
You're going to fall in love with me by the end of this because I love my sister too.
What happened with my Zippo collection? I wonder. I don't know what happened to that. I had a Constantine one. That was cool. I had a lot of Zippos.
What's your rating?
Oh, we're doing the
Carrots.
Oh, yeah. So
our new rating system.
So our new rating system is basically out of 5 stars, but we're going to say carrots instead. Because
Eat your carrot.
Yeah, eat your carrot. And that's a whole other thing we can explain later. Like, I really enjoy it. I was going to say like 4.5.
Really?
Really? I think it's really, because it's like,
I mean, out of my enjoyment, like, I really enjoy this movie. So it's like a 3.5.
Yeah, I guess like a 3.5, because like a 4 is like great. 5 would be amazing.
Yeah.
3 is good.
I mean, for some people, it's definitely like a 5 because of just like nostalgia, the love of it, you know. And I can see that, and I can get down with that.
What I'm really curious from our listeners is if there's anyone out there that has kids and they have or haven't seen this. I would really want to know, like, from a parent's perspective, showing this to your child now, like let's say you have an 8 or 10-year-old or something, showing it to them now and seeing what they think about it
with like how modern media.
Like I'm really curious if it like to like an 8-year-old now, if it still has the magic that it had when we were.
You know what we could try to do as well to kind of reverse effect this. Watch a children's movie from like 1979 or something. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, maybe. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, but I mean, for this movie very specifically, I'm wondering if a kid now would get the same enjoyment that we did when we were younger. Because I mean, it's a good Halloween movie.
Yeah,
across the board, it's got zombies, it's got witches, it's during Halloween.
You know what? I feel like now that I'm thinking about this, I feel like the family movie, kid movie like this genre. I think it like was invented through the 80s really. And created by Disney.
Like the family fun adventure.
Yeah. Like Mary Poppins is probably like one of like an early like one, you know.
Goonies.
Yeah, even like, but that's the Goonies is a little bit more scary. I'm talking about like this is a family kids movie.
Like Addams Family.
Addams Family's a little bit. That's a little darker still.
It's teetering a little more dark.
Yeah. So Adventures in Babysitting, Hocus Pocus,
The Cell.
Yeah, The Cell with Vince Vaughn, and Jennifer Lopez, and Vincent D'Onofrio.
Very family friendly serial killer sci-fi fantasy thriller.
Family friendly, but you see like. There's like a specific like aesthetic, and I feel like it's actually kind of like a Disney aesthetic because like
I mean, it helps your argument that you just picked 2 Disney movies.
I know. I said Adventures of Babies, and oh yeah, that is Disney.
Or it's
Buena Vista.
Buena Vista, yeah.
But like I'm trying to think of like even like Mary Poppins was kind of like, you know, the parents and the kids are going to enjoy this movie together, and it's all very light humor. There's like you're talking about with this for Hocus Pocus, there is that darkness of like the reality of the story, but it's not presented in that way. Because if you even want to go back to Mary Poppins, you know, she's like a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Like she's like drugging these kids to go to sleep. It's like, I'm giving you cough syrup because I need you to go to bed. Like. It's fucked up.
I need the night off.
Or even like the Sound of Music, like these are a few of my favorite things. She's having a panic attack as she's leaving, and she's trying to calm herself down. But it's not presented that way.
Yeah, it's like, it's just covered in so much fluff. You have to really peel back the layers and be like, what's actually going on down here?
Exactly.
Like, what's happening? Yeah.
So yeah, it kind of makes me wonder, like, when the actual, like, this, like, family genre, like, really started to take off. Because, like, it, like, you see what I'm trying to say?
Well, I think also you have to keep in mind, too, it's like, I feel like for a long period of time, movies were made for adults, cartoons were made for children.
Yeah.
There was not a lot of crossover.
Until cartoons started getting made for adults. Fritz the cat.
Adult animation. We're not talking about porn. That was so funny that we had to like be really like,
we're not
talking about porn. We're talking about animation for adults,
Yeah.
not adult animation.
It might get kind of porny sometimes. There's nudity in it.
Yeah.
But anywho, I think so a 3.5 carat. Since we're doing out of a 5, we got to remember we're doing out of a 5 numbers. Why am I saying like 5?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I did think that Max had a really good murder face. Like, that was a great scene when Danny is like, "What do you call him, Max? Yabos?" He loves your yabos. Can't get enough. And he's just in the background
like, I will break your neck, little child.
I will go to jail. I don't care. I just thought that was funny. But yeah, so yeah, I would do 3, and again, they're stars, but 3.5 carats, and
watch it. Yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Like
I was like, I do find it interesting. I was thinking, like, as I was watching this, I wonder how a kid today would react to this movie.
Yeah, I'm just really curious. Is it really enjoyable because of nostalgia? But that's the thing, is like when we were reviewing it, I try to get rid of that, and I'm like, no, to me, it's just a fun movie.
Yeah,
and
like objectively, like if I really want to get into like the script is quick. That's it's got a bunch of loose ends in it. It's
yeah, but it's also like you said, it's easy to digest.
But that's why it's meant to be that way.
Yeah, it's meant to be.
They're not trying to make fucking The Godfather,
Yeah, and it's like there's little jokes for the kids, and then like even like Sarah and her, like she has these little sex jokes.
Mm-hmm. Which actually that was an interesting thing. Was like there's a lot more sexual innuendo coming from her than I ever fucking noticed.
Before you caught, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Well, even
like, Jesus.
She's like, "I'll be thy friend." She's like stroking her broom. You're like, Disney, really?
Sarah Jessica Parker just had fun.
Oh
with this
yeah,
role.
she was great. And apparently she really liked being in the harness when they would fly.
Really?
So she would like have a magazine somewhere in her costume, and like in between takes would just like read a magazine and just like chilling out in the harness. But yeah, no, but that's the thing too. I think they all had fun, and because
you can tell,
and because of that, it's fun to watch them have fun.
Yeah, it's a good job.
Yeah, It's like, pat yourself in the back. You guys are fun. Because they like, it's like even the way they fly. Like Mary is very
theatric.
Well, like Mary is very like you can tell she's like the very safe driver, and then you have Sarah, who's the more she likes flying. Yeah, she's the more whimsical, kind of flowy one, and then you have Winnie, and she's like the bullet. She's the arrow. We're going.
She's the leader.
Yeah, But yeah, I would say watch it. And maybe what we could do, do like a mini tape or something for the second one.
Hocus Pocus. Yeah.
So we could both watch it and just kind of
read.
But yeah, so next week we will be doing.
What was that? Can you not remember?
Yeah.
Monster Squad.
Thank you. I was looking for it.
You did that the whole like Jim Carrey. The color of the pen that I hold in my hand is royal blue.
But yeah, so we're gonna do Monster Squad. So yeah, like we discussed last time, so we're gonna be doing 2 like family friendly Halloween movies, and then towards the end we're gonna do spooky. Did we?
Yeah, we know exactly what we're doing for the remakes. We have that.
So we're doing 2 remakes, Friday the 13th and Carrie. Yes. Cool. All right. So that's our lineup for this spooky season, and we will talk to you next week. Mm-hmm. And I think that's everything, right?
Yeah.
Like us, follow us, and and
you seem so unsure about closing the show right now.
Because I'm not used to this. I don't.
It's just like any time before. We just have a camera pointed at us now.
Thanks for watching. Winnie, look.
All right, that's enough. Yeah, Instagram, Patreon if you want, Spotify, YouTube. YouTube is a good one.
Hey, there you go. YouTube.
Like and subscribe. YouTube.
YouTube.
Hey. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Check you out next week.
You're gonna check them out next week.
Check us out next week. Hey,
this is Tommy.
Little boys.
It's weirder when I say it. I didn't think about me saying it. Let's get the fuck out of here. Come the police, take Jacob away to the penitentiary. This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy
and Jacob's mixtape.